we fought a battle at the FTC 3 years ago now. At the Federal Election Commission, there was an effort to regulate bloggers, and we won that battle, and we have a really good, sweet gig right now. I mean, they don't touch us. And as long as we're not funded by campaigns or parties, and I'm not, so it's not a problem. So the next one is net neutrality. For those who don't know, net neutrality is the effort to prevent telecommunication companies from discriminating against certain consumers and certain websites. So that you've seen it happen. AT&T, I think, was streaming a U2 concert, or it was Pearl Jam. And Eddie Vedder said something like "fuck George Bush," and they blocked it out, so people didn't see that. So it's not AT&T's job to tell people what they can or cannot see. So net neutrality is sort of an effort to basically tell the telecommunication companies that they cannot inject themselves between content and the consumer. Otherwise, what we can see is a tiered web, or a web where corporate interests, we can go back to the world where big corporations can actually decide what people can or cannot see. So that, I think, is pretty much. Do you have anything else in mind, or is that the big one?
That's the big one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
In a more long-term sense, I tend to think of the internet more like the road system. It's a sort of an essential, in the future, looking decades in the future, that's going to be as essential to the economy and people's lives as the road system is. And the road system, I don't know if socializing the internet is the answer. I don't know, and I thought maybe you had some clever ideas about how government would help the internet help people.
Yeah, I think as long as telecommunication companies are required to not discriminate based on content, I have no problem with them continuing to fund the creation of it. I know we lag behind a lot of nations on our infrastructure and whatnot. We're also a much bigger country than South Korea. It's easier to do high speed in South Korea than it is in the United States. Especially when a lot of laws and regulations require uniformity in delivery of services, right? So rural Montana needs to get the same kind of access as New York City. It makes it tough for the telecommunication companies to make that investment. So if anything, maybe even less regulation, but that starts getting a little dangerous and dicey, so I have to tread carefully on that front. Get his attention. Okay.
I just had two quick questions. One, what do you think about the significance of the parallax in South Chicago?
And the what?
Of the Mark parallax.
Oh, yeah.
And also, given that impeachment is effectively off the table for George Bush, what do you think about potential indictment for war crimes for changing Rumsfeld?
I don't know how the war crimes stuff would work, so I have no opinion on that, just because I don't know what the procedure of that would be. I'm really happy, and for me, like revenge, is this notion that Bush will go down as the worst president in history. I mean, that to me is like, feels really warm and fuzzy. And they just did this interview with this survey with historians, and 65% said he was the worst president ever, and most of the others said he was the second worst ever. And, that makes me feel good, right? Because the guy's such an asshole, and he's such an ego that to have people walk around saying, yeah, he was the worst ever, it's kind of really. And you know why he ran for president? I know why he ran for president. He wanted it on his resume to be baseball commissioner. And now he's never going to be baseball commissioner because he's such a shitty president. As far as Mark was raised here down in sort of Bolingbrook, southern end of Chicago. It was a primary challenge against Dan Lipinski, who's a congressman, horrible congressman, corrupt, pro-war, and everything that's bad in the Democratic Party. And so we primaried him, and we ran hard against him, and he won solidly. And I think what we learned there is that the Chicago machine still can deliver votes, and we have to figure out a way to break that machine. Because it is a horrible, corrupt, non-democratic entity, before we can win this sort of seat. So, I hope Pera runs again in 2 years. A lot of it was just him building his name recognition. Nobody knew who he was. He had a lot of new voters because of Barack Obama. And you look down the ballot, and you're going to vote for the safe choice, and that's the incumbent. So I think if Pera had much more name recognition, it might have helped. He might have been able to tap into the Obama change thing. He did. That was a problem. But you can't win them all. I got to say, though, the Al Windsor's in Maryland, that was we needed that victory. After losing this Illinois race, definitely, if we'd lost that race, we would have been absolutely demoralized terribly. So it's important, it's okay to lose the occasional race, but we also have to win the occasional ones, and at least we got that this year.